Hey guys, Andrew Houston here with another trading tip. This one's gold, baby. If you are doing a ton of quotes or you're about to do a ton of quotes at this time of the year, like let's take a look at the year. It's springtime, the grass is growing, foundations are being dug, everybody wants their projects kicked off, if not already, and they're coming to you with a whole shit ton of quotes, right? One of the things that happens if we don't do these 3 steps I'm going to talk to you about is we waste way too much time quoting. We don't win enough of the jobs when quoting. And, the jobs that we do land, there's no, we're just getting whatever it is that we get. So follow these 3 steps. If you want to get more time back, you want to win more of the right jobs, and, you want to become more of an effective leader as a champion CEO, pay attention to these tips I'm about to give you. So, we've got this amazing champion CEOs, Joe and Debbie, husband and wife team, amazing. And talking with Joe and Debbie, one of the biggest things when they came to us was like, I said, Joe, like, what's one of the biggest things you want to work on? He says, Andrew, I need to get more time back. He goes, I'm working like 60, 70, 80 hours a week. Especially this time of the year, it just gets worse. I got everybody coming to me requesting for quotes. Now, in this case, Joe is an electrical contractor doing, commercial work, doing residential work, things of that type of area in the trades. And again, these tips I'm going to give you, it doesn't matter how big you are, what type of trade you are, where you're located in the world. Every contractor, to make their business run, one of the key things is quoting jobs. If you don't quote jobs, you're not going to get jobs. You don't get jobs, you're not going to have a business. So I said to Joe, all right, Joe, let's focus in on one thing as far as getting control of your time. He goes, all right. I said, let's talk about quoting. He goes, all right, like what are we going to talk about? I said, well, tell me, how much time do you spend quoting? And Joe said, well, I don't know. He goes, not sure. I said, well, let's just slow down, let's speed up and think about that. After some reflection, Joe was thinking he was around, 10, 15 hours a week. Funny enough, once we dug deeper, Joe was spending about 20 to 25 hours a week quoting jobs. So if any of this resonates with you, pay close attention. So Joe's like, yeah, what am I supposed to do? I get all these people asking for quotes. I got to go quote them. I said, well, let's see if we're approaching it the right way. He goes,
okay, well, what am I going to do?
I said, well, can you write down a list of all the people that are asking you to do quotes? And he says,
yeah, he goes, I got a stack of these quotes over here. I can write down all these names, sure.
So he took 10 or 15 minutes, wrote down the list. There's about 25 people on this list. I asked Joe, I said, Joe, so here's the golden question. How many of those people in the last 3, 6, 9, say 12 months have actually awarded you work? And he went,
I never thought about that.
I said, well, let's take a look at, these people that have been asking you to do quotes. Well, funny enough, there was on that list of 25 people in Joe's business, there was a lot of repeat people that over the span of that period of time and last like 6 to 9 months for him, there was a ton of people on that list of 25 that had asked him to do quotes many, many times in the past. I said, okay, Joe, how many of the people on that list have awarded you jobs? And his eyes lit up and he went, I never thought of that. I go, well, how many? Out of the list of 25, most of these people, probably 80%, were repeat offenders. And I call repeat offenders, you'll understand why in a second. You might know where I'm going with this. They were people that had requested quotes from him in the past and never awarded him work. He had done sometimes 6 to 9, even more quotes for people on that list, and they'd never awarded him work. I said, well, Joe, you're going to keep quoting those people? And he was like,
fuck no, man. That's crazy. I never even thought of that.
There's a huge percentage of time that was saved, okay? Over 10 plus hours a week, between 10 and 15 hours a week, just getting rid of what I call the tire kickers. So the first thing we want to do, guys, is bucketize your quotes. And the first bucket is the tire kickers. We got to put those freaking guys that are just price shopping in the bucket, literally the bucket of trash, and stop quoting those guys. So take a minute, think about how much time you're putting in doing quotes. Think about how you've followed this process, and are you even tracking to this process? And what do I mean by that? When people start asking you for quotes, you want to track who it is that you quoted for, so that when they come back and ask you the quote again and again and again, you're tracking to go, wait a second. I'm quickly identifying, like from a filter fast perspective, which ones are just price shoppers. So first things first, guys, Bucketize the tire kickers. And that saved Joe a shit ton of time. Now, what was the next bucket? Well, the next bucket is, now that we put a bunch of them into the trash, we looked at the list and went, all right, Joe, based upon your capacity, based upon the guys that you've got and capacity, what type of work can you best handle? And on top of that, icing on the cake, what jobs do you think you're best at? Which jobs do you make the most profits on? And he's like,
wow, that's a few questions there, Andrew.
Well, guys, it allowed us to rate the quotes of the people that actually, had given him work, the quotes that were worthy of us quoting. Now we could prioritize them as a Class A, Class B, Class C quote, as far as the value to the company, the value to the team, as far as the capacity, and that we had the right people to do that type of work. Because some of the work that he did was service work, some was commercial, some was larger jobs, some was like smaller jobs, some was residential. So we were able to then categorize from a Class A, B, C perspective, and i.e. bucketize, which quotes he had to focus in on. The next bucket, okay, so now he's got the Class A's. The only jobs he was going to quote was the Class A's and maybe some Class B's that had the potential of becoming a Class A. So now we've prioritized which ones are worthy of Joe's time. And now that brings us to the third bucket. Now that allowed us, okay, to put the C's and the D's, okay, the jobs that we didn't really want, okay, also the clients that, as far as C and D's that weren't paying him in the past, that were a pain in the ass to deal with, and we put those ones in the last bucket. So the only bucket that he focused in on was the Class A quotes rated based upon what we talked about, and worst case Class B's he felt that could become a Class A. So guys, your time is very worthy. Bucketize your quoting process. Make sure you're dealing with the tire kickers and putting them in the trash. Make sure you're focusing on the right quotes that are going to give the right ROI to you and your team. And make sure you put the clients that are Class C and D into the trash can that as well goes to the trash. So I'm Andrew Houston with another trading tip, and I'll see you on the flip. Hey Rockstar, if this video resonated with you at all and you want a proven plan and pathway to take your contracting business to the next level with me and my team of experts, click the link below and apply for a free 15-minute pathway to Profits Call.